Ladies and gentlemen, and humans and fellow patriots.
Fellow citizens, welcome to the university.
We are recording on a park bench with a cover over us out in the rain in Sandy Bay. This is episode 1 of the RonJonTony cast. Do we have an idea for a name?
For like the Oddcast, I suppose that's what we used to use.
Yeah, because the Oddcast is what it was.
Yeah, it still works.
For like maybe I'll be something weird.
The Roncast.
I think this can be episode 0, where we're trying to figure out what this even is.
Pilot.
The pilot. I like it.
This is your captain speaking.
Of the autumn vibes edition to our seasonal depression.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
It is that kind of year. I've got to keep reminding myself not to tap on the it is that time of year where I feel the self-reflective vibes kick in and the happy-go-lucky summertime just slowly drifting away.
Yeah, definitely coming back more, being at a adult school, which I would have definitely failed in. And to be a humble tradesman. And really looking back on all my failures.
Hit me with some of your biggest failures.
Oh. I think it was definitely when I shat myself at a party.
Yes.
When I was seeing a lady. And it was not good. But I stayed the whole time.
With the shit in your pants?
Well, I cleaned it out.
Yeah.
But there was one toilet for like 80 people. And
it was your pants?
And it was my pants. No one else's pants, just mine. But then again, you could think that, like, fuck, maybe someone else here has secretly shat themselves and is also living a second life.
Your life is divided by before the shitting your pants and after the shitting your pants.
Like, you almost can have like a shining
for people shitting their pants.
For people who also, but you have to shit your pants first to get the power.
And do you have to be the first one at the party to shit your pants to get the power?
I think it's anyone who's just got the balls to do it, really.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so was it like, not to get too deep into it, but was it like a little squirt, or was it like, did you lay a log in your pants?
It was definitely a squirt.
Okay.
I almost would have preferred a log, because at least you can, like, pick it up and...
Yeah.
But with the squirt, you have to go and, like, actually wash yourself down.
Yeah. Dispose of your undies somehow.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it was, like, really unexpected. I sort of had been having a bit of IBS.
Yeah.
Seasonal IBS.
Seasonal.
Where I went to just go take a piss. I only been there for like 20 minutes. I went to take a piss, and like as I was pissing, it just went.
Oh, mate.
Yeah, and I'm like, God, is it too early just to go home? You know, if I'd been there for a couple of hours, I'd say, oh, I'm a bit tired. I might go home.
But it was like fresh in the relationship too, I suppose. So you're trying to...
Yeah, I don't know anyone there.
Yeah, so it would have been weird if you disappeared.
So I couldn't divulge this to anyone. I had to just like... And when I was going to the toilet, someone was in there using it. And I was sort of had to wait out in the living room, and I was meeting all the roommates' parents. And
with shit in your pants?
With shit in my pants. I was just going up to shake their hands and...
Wow.
And
it didn't smell?
No.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, that was the last thing I was really thinking of at the time. I was like, act normal, be friendly, and I'm sort of joking like, geez, imagine if someone had to use the toilet right now, bit peak hour for someone who really needed to go.
So you try to have conversations,
like
you've got one eye on the toilet to try and get an opening.
And as I was talking, somebody slipped behind me and went in. So the time's extending for the seepage.
Yeah. But there was still only the one squirt.
Yeah, the one squirt. It was more than I wanted.
It should be none.
Yeah. A tiny one. A tiny squirt that doesn't break past the cheeks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, I think I'm a little bit privileged to have 2 bathrooms in my house. So anytime I need to poop, there's always a bathroom available. So I'm quite afraid that one day, because when I need to poop, it's really urgent,
Yeah.
and I don't have that reflex to hold it for as long as I could anymore. You know? Just because of the 2.
Well, usually it's unexpected. It's you're slipping out a fart.
Yeah.
And it's
then you poop yourself.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I've got a good shit in my pants story.
Please do.
Yeah.
Please do.
It's when I was still would have been grade 9 or 10, and I was actually going to a mate's place and he lived in Risdonvale, where I live now. And we're after school catching the bus, and I just thought I'd sneak out a fart and just liquid, it was bad. And we were probably a stop before we were just going into Risdonvale, a stop before his house.
Yeah.
And I thought, and like the lady behind me, it stank. It was bad. So I was like, oh mate, we're gonna have to, if we get off here, I just wouldn't mind taking a piss down here and walking up. So I stopped off at the cricket ground, which they have change rooms. So I stopped in, went into the change rooms, quickly took my undies off, cleaned up, went to flush them, because I had nowhere else to put them. So I thought I'd flush them down the toilet. Went to walk out of the toilet, back to him, and walked out, and the toilet was just flooding everywhere behind me. So I thought, fuck, keep running, keep walking.
Yeah.
He never knew a thing. Freeballed the rest of the day, got away with it. But that was panic stations, I tell you.
Yeah.
On a metro bus.
You know, when you say, like, oh, it was bad. Like, imagine if you're like, man, that was so good. Just had no shame of doing it.
Yeah.
Did I ever tell you guys the story about when I met Pan? You know Pan? There's a tag, P-A-N,
Oh,
with a
yeah.
line underneath it.
Yes.
And when we were kids, that tag was everywhere. I remember Pan being like any school excursion anywhere, Pan was there. Out in the world, it was just absolutely everywhere.
What does it mean?
I have no idea.
It's just
it was just
someone's
P-A-N.
tag
I
name,
feel
I
like
suppose.
it was I remember chatting to Brando about it once. It was just a guy, a really prolific tagger. I don't think it was necessarily a good tag. I think it was just fucking everywhere.
Yeah.
So quantity over quality.
Yeah, big time. And so one day I was on the back of the bus and there was this, at the time I had a shaved head, and I was at the back of the bus. And then this other guy gets on the back of the bus and he's got like a 4-pack of something and he's clearly a bit tipsy. And he's genuinely just strikes up a conversation with me and he goes, oh, I just got out of prison, blah, blah, blah. I've got all these animals hidden in the woods that I knew that they would take off me when I went to prison. So I've left them all in the woods. And now I'm going back. This is paraphrasing, this was years ago.
Yeah.
I was like, okay. And he goes, do you know Pan? And I was like, yeah. And he was like, I'm Pan.
Huh.
And I was like, no shit. Like, P-A-N, underline, that's you. And he was like, yes, that's me. And I was mind blown. I was like, dude, you were like a minor celebrity.
Yeah.
Nobody knew who you were when we were kids. And then he was like, yeah, and all these fucking Asians are coming to our country. And I was like, oh, no.
Just
shit.
flipped.
Oh, no.
You're crazy.
Yeah, and it just hit me. I was like, oh, this guy's fucking nuts. And then he starts talking about brown people. And blah, 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 blah. Oh, fuck. And so I'm in the corner at the back of the bus, feeling a little bit unsafe, but I've also got a shaved head and kind of blend in with him.
Yeah.
So I can kind of sit there and have a chat with him. But there are other people on the bus, and they're not all white people on the bus either. So now we're just 2 fucking weirdos on the bus having a chat about race, which I really don't want to be involved
Now you're a part of it.
And so he starts talking about how he's going to start adding a symbol after Pan. And he's clearly in a bit of psychosis or something weird's going on.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm going to start adding a symbol after Pan. and that will be the symbol that stands for, honouring our
Purity.
something along those lines.
Yeah,
I don't even
yeah.
think he used the word honouring. And I was like, fuck, okay, yeah, fair enough. And then within a month or so, I started seeing pan up again in places with a weird kind of like almost another version of a swastika.
I was about to say.
It wasn't a swastika, but it was swastika adjacent.
Yeah.
Which is actually like a peace sign in Buddhism.
Yes.
Yeah.
On an angle, it's a peace sign.
Yeah.
And then Hitler went, hold on a minute, switch it a bit. The most evilest thing ever.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's my Pan story.
Wow.
And to the point where when I told people, hey, I met Pan, nobody believed me.
Did you ask him what animals he had out in the bush?
No, I
that's
think,
weird.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Because then I go, well, one, animals wouldn't survive for very long. Two, if they're caged up or whatever,
Yeah.
my brain fills in a lot of details. Like they must have been caged up. Well, who knows? Maybe not. Maybe he just left them out there. Who knows how long he was in jail for? He might have only been in the fucking. He might not have been in prison.
But maybe because animals.
Pan, if you're out there, give me a call. We'd like to know about these
let's fill in the
details.
gaps.
Fill in the gaps.
Yeah, I feel he could be like the Joe Exotic of Tasmania.
Yeah,
Like he's like introduced panthers out in the fucking bush and like I think that they have like seen panthers.
I've heard stories
in the mainland.
Panthers.
Panther? Yeah.
Speaking of pants, you shit your pants.
And so did this guy. So did this guy. And I think that you're not quite as clean as you say you are.
No. I'm not saying I haven't. I know that I have at some point. But the memories that I have are of having to, like, take a gorilla poop somewhere.
The hole couldn't fit.
Gorilla
gorilla in the warfare sense, not gorilla in the animal sense. I need to take a shit somewhere, and the toilet's not available, and it has to happen now.
Yeah.
Here's a good story for you. So I was in Sydney staying with Erin. This is before, maybe early on in her pregnancy, and so if she needed the bathroom, I would leave her to a bathroom. I didn't want to disturb her. She could be throwing up, she could be doing whatever. If she's in the bathroom, just fucking leave her alone. And so she was in the bathroom. My housemates, they also had a bathroom, but I felt weird about asking to use the bathroom. So I was really desperate. I held on for about 10 minutes, and I just thought, no, I've got about a minute and a half to go. So I took a garbage bag, and I went outside into the backyard and just had to squat and take a shit into a garbage bag. When there's a doggy door, like their dog could come outside and see me at any time.
Grab hold of the bag.
Could take the bag. Anything could happen. So I'm like frantically taking it. So and then I realised, fuck. So I've kind of got to pull my pants up and go and like squishy walk to get some paper towel from inside, and then go back outside, deal with that, put that in the bag, and then I kind of stashed it away because I didn't want anybody to know. But I didn't want to walk past the main entrance with a garbage bag.
Did the thought of flinging it go through your mind?
That's a great...
It's someone else's problem now, like it's over the property boundary.
That's probably what I would have.
I would have definitely just flung it.
It was later in the night. I went and found it again and put it in the bin, in the garbage bin, at the outdoor garbage bin. But I totally could have just flown that really far as well.
Yeah.
Because it had some heft, if you want to know.
Yeah. For the bag to split as you sort of...
Yeah, and it goes like into the window of the bathroom that Aaron's in. It's like, what the fuck?
Blame it on
Just
the
throwing
dog.
our shit now, are we?
And I did that twice at that house. I had to shit outside.
Jeez. Yeah. Things you do for love, eh?
One time at school in grade 8, I was just like, I took it upon myself. I took a bin liner from outside and put it underneath the toilet seat and shit into the bin, and then put the bin liner back in the bin. And then there was a giant drama at the school about who shit in the bin. I never told a soul until right now. It was me that shit in the bin.
Shat in the bed.
Yeah, just on the subject of poo stories. This has like a bit of background to it of how the poo ended up on the floor.
Okay.
So like when I was a kid, like used to get these newsletters, like the local newsletter sent to the house, and I was just reading into the toilet, and there was this story, like because in Sydney and it's set up in the Blue Mountains, like this fucking big snake had escaped down the toilet in someone's house and hasn't been found since. And my mind just like said like this thing could come up in my toilet. Like the absolute probability of that happening is just it would never happen.
Yeah.
So for like a month and a half I had like a phobia of going to the toilet. So how I'd do it is like I'd hover. I wouldn't sit down on the toilet. I'd hover so I could see behind me. Yeah. And I'd be like, I'd already be up ready to go. Wow. If it came up and, you know, had to go at me.
Wow.
So this was going on. And then my mate invited us all up to his country property in the Blue Mountains where this snake had escaped. Also, country house not connected to the main sewer lines. I wouldn't know that as a kid. Just thought, there's a very, very high probability there's snakes in this toilet.
There's snakes.
So,
In the shitter.
so we're all like just 10 of us kids running around in the backyard having a good time. And I'm just like, okay, urgent poo, I've got to go. So I run into the toilet, set up my little bench seat to hover, you know, and I feel it come out, and instead of a splash, I hear a slap. I look down, and there's just this big turd just sitting next to the toilet. And instead of doing anything, I left it there.
You did.
I left it there, and I think like nothing was said for about an hour until I think his mum went in there and saw it. And someone else got the blame.
No. Who got the blame?
My mate, Nick, who was like he sort of had that vibe about him.
he was a floor cleaner.
Had that shit on the floor.
Where he would,
I know the
we
guy.
would probably all joke like, he probably just shits on the floor at his own house. So
Nick, if you're listening.
yeah. Sorry, not sorry. So yeah, and I think I just started sitting down on the toilet again after that.
Yeah.
Because I think the guilt of someone else copying my own fears.
Yeah. And the only snake was the snake you left on the floor.
Yeah, big brown snake.
Big brown snake.
Imagine being the mum. Oh, what the fuck?
Who is this? Like the accuracy.
Yeah.
Like, are they sitting down on it sideways?
You'd think it'd have to be intentional. It's just on the floor. Yeah.
Just out of spite.
Yeah.
Or not many people did like the kid that we went up to his house.
Yeah.
Yeah. He was a bit strange. Felt for him. He was like an only child, and his parents were like lawyer and a barrister, and they were just had a lot of cool stuff though.
Probably nothing worse as a kid than
Wouldn't
having,
have time for him at all.
Yeah, having rich parents, you got a lot of cool shit, but you never see them, and you got no mates.
No.
Yeah.
The worst, dude.
Yeah.
Got no one to play with.
Yeah, dude. That's rough.
Mm.
Do you remember one time being at a kid's, I had to go to one of my sister's friends' parties at Pizza Hut, the all-you-can-eat situation. And one of her friends' brothers was like a little, maybe he was maybe 7 or 8, and then I would have been 13, 14, so I shouldn't have been at this party. And this little kid just keeps fucking kicking me really hard on the toe. Stop! I'm starting to get loud about it. He's like, walks off, goes to the bath. Like, and I said that I really needed to go to the bathroom, so he ran in ahead of me, and then was in there for a bit. Comes out, I go back in, and he'd shit on the seat. Yeah, it was like an angry shit as an attack.
Wow.
On the seat.
He shit on the seat.
Jeez. Out of spite.
Yeah. I think out of embarrassment and fear, he didn't say anything, and I also didn't say anything. I was just like, I just left it at that. Like, all right. And you said your piece.
Did the staff say anything?
No, nothing was said.
Okay.
That was just the end of it. I was like, all right, buddy.
See, you know, like, you'd be surprised what you can get away with.
One time, Sorel banjos. I was very, very, very little kid, and I have a really vivid memory of going to the bathroom. I knew we were going in 2 minutes, and so I just pissed everywhere. All over the walls, all over the toilet, all over the roll of toilet paper, just everywhere.
Like in the door handle,
Everywhere you can imagine. I was spinning around. I was
up the tap of the sink.
And so I come back out, and Dad goes, I'm just going to quickly zip in to the bathroom before we go. And so, Dad went in after me. Never said a word.
He's like, that's my boy.
People who went in did the same thing, took a shit on the floor.
Somebody's already done it. Somebody's already pissed everywhere.
Knowing how downhill banjos went, they deserved it. Those fuckers.
Yeah. Should be more of that, I reckon.
Or pissing in bathrooms in protest.
In like in shops that are like
Pissful protest.
wildly overpriced inflation. Yeah, so it's
Just shitting on the floor in protest.
I don't hate it. I don't hate it.
about you, Chunk. You probably had a few piss stories.
Few piss? Nothing's coming to mind, actually. Yeah.
It's just the norm. Oh, you guys both have a piss story though.
Oh, yeah, pissing in a bottle.
Yeah. Yeah, there you
That
go.
was horrible.
That jumpstarts some memories.
That's horrible.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Do you have the beginning story to tell and I'll finish it? Or is it...
Well, yeah, pretty much in the studio. I think the reason I was super fucking stoned in there, and there was people out next door, so I got real paranoid,
That makes sense.
and I didn't want to go out. I thought, fuck. So I pissed in this bottle and hid it behind the couch.
Yeah.
Forgot about it
Yeah.
for a long time. Until
However many months later, at the studio we used to buy they were like 3 fat lambs for fucking $15, maybe even less, maybe $12.
Yeah.
There was a little window there when little fat lambs were the cheapest way to get absolutely munted.
yeah.
For like easily, and I'd only have one and a half and be completely fucked up before I got sober. And so I had 2 little fat lambs the night before, which gives you just like the worst goonie headaches. And so I wake up the next morning just completely fucking dehydrated, and there's nothing
even
around. Yeah, dude, so hungover. And I see one of the little fat lambs with some still in it, and I'm like, some fat lamb's better than no fat lamb. It's better than nothing. And so I open it and I take a swig, and it's piss.
Not only that, old fermented piss. Oh, dude. It's just the worst thing ever.
Yeah,
It really
the
is.
worst.
I mean, was it an instant realization that it was piss? Or were you like had to take a second take and like a little second swig just
it was
to...
piss. Yeah, like there wasn't long enough to...
What was your reaction? Was it like straight spit out, fucking
Spat
like,
it back in. I think I might have even spat it back into the bottle. Let's save that for later. Like,
well, I don't want to spit it on the floor because then I got piss on the floor.
I was just hungover and angry.
Yeah.
Just like, oh.
Well, I didn't hear about it till a little bit after.
Yeah, I told Bain the story. We were both like, oh, fuck. Like, no.
And then he told us, like, what? Oh, no. Like, the realisation.
So disappointed in both of you.
Oh,
fuck.
so bad, man.
Head behind the couch, completely forgot it was there.
Yeah, a lot of stuff's been shoved behind that couch.
No comment.
Yeah,
No comment.
absolutely none.
Definitely not a jizzy pillowcase.
No. I knew from my experience as a single man, I knew exactly not to touch that thing. Crumpled up behind the couch.
That's very funny. If it makes you feel any better, it wasn't on my own.
I know.
It was
Said
two
it was a
people.
conjoined.
We both came on the pillowcase.
You and Danny.
Wait, you were using that too?
Oh, God. I surely told you guys the story about Danny chucking a whitey at Brando's house.
No?
Brando and I were having a session, his shed out the back, and Danny was there too. A couple of Brandos, I think Bronte, and a couple of, maybe one of Brando, I think Hermit might have been there earlier on. Anyway, at the end of the night, it's just me, Brando, and Danny. And Danny's at the point of the night, should I not be using his name? I don't think he'd care.
Of course, yeah.
No?
He's our manager, he's involved.
Oh, that's true. He's part of the gang. Danny's the part of the night where he thinks it might be a good idea to have a puff of a joint. He doesn't agree with Danny.
No.
And so he has a puff of a joint, and basically, he just instant whitey. He vomits all over himself. He almost looks like he's seizing on the ground, but we know he's just having a whitey.
Yeah.
And so Danny's just now on the ground with vomit all over himself, snoring at the top of his lungs. And so Brando and I, we think it's hilarious, but we're also so stoned, we're really paranoid. And Brando lives next to a crackhead, or a meth head, or whatever the fuck he was. And so we're in the shed, and outside, all we hear is from like outside the shed, and we're just like, holy fucking shit, there is a meth zombie outside the shed. And so we are just so paranoid and shitting our pants. And so we're like kind of like tapping Danny on the face to get him to wake up to stop snoring, because he's snoring so loud. And then we hear the meth head hop the fence into Brando's backyard. And so he's like around the shed.
Oh, what?
Just like knocking shit over in the backyard. And we're just like holding the shed door shut as high as we can, just in case this dude tries to get inside the shed.
Yeah.
Long story short, it was all totally fine. Didn't try and get inside the shed. We went out, the garbage bin's knocked over, and a couple of things are knocked over, but like,
Fuck, that's
nothing bad.
That's pretty scary though.
It was
Yeah.
horrendous.
Yeah,
Fuck,
absolutely terrifying.
I wonder what he wanted.
I don't know. There's some meth in the bush.
Yeah.
I love how Danny's body just went straight into recovery mode. Like, just skipped the phase of being delirious and sick and just went straight to sleep.
Straight to vomit sleep.
Oh shit, man. All right, we've got about 5 minutes to wrap it up. Any reflections on episode 1?
Definitely, I like being outdoors.
I like that too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely the rain and the scenery makes a nice little addition.
Yeah.
Not that anyone's going to see this but us. But this is for us.
Yeah, it's nice, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's nice.
Yeah.
How'd you feel holding your phone?
Pretty good.
Pretty fine.
Yeah.
Fine.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
fine.
Sweet.
Just leaning it on the table and
Nice.
not thinking about it.
Yep.
Just having some chats about shitting ourselves.
Yeah. I like the storytelling ness of it. I'm sure we'll run out of tales one day. That was fun.
They've got some tails though.
We've got some tales. We'll have to rack our brains for some cooked tales back in the day.
I think once you start, then you trigger. Then it's like, oh, that reminds me of a story. Then that reminds you of something. And
yes.
so I used to find, when I was a kid, hanging out with Dad and my uncles. They were just really good, like, joke tellers. They'd all have a bunch of, like, long form jokes. It's just a bit of a lost art these days.
Yeah.
But like, all of a sudden, one would say, then it would remind Dad of a joke, and that would remind Uncle Mick, and then they'd just be on a roll. And I've got, I miss long form jokes.
Yeah.
So it's definitely a lost art.
Yes.
Yeah. Wish I could remember some jokes, but
I had when I was in like grade 7 and 8, I had this massive joke book. But Dad bought me a few joke books. There was one called Man Walks Into a Bar, and it was just fucking huge.
Yeah.
And I would read that thing cover to cover.
yeah.
Every night I'd be reading it until I fell asleep.
Yeah.
Every night.
Yeah, I had a joke book like that too. Yeah.
So I'd just go to school and just tell jokes.
Yeah.
It just felt so good. Getting people laughing. It's a nice time.
Yeah.
When I left Banjo's, one of the younger girls who was working there, she used to tell me jokes all the time, so I left that joke book for her when I left.
Oh, sweet.
Nice.
Yeah. It was nice. But yeah, any ideas on the name? The RonJon cast?
No.
Nice time with friends.
Nice time. The RonJonTony Nice Time with Friends.
Revealing
Sure.
trauma.
I'm sure we'll think of something. But this felt more, I don't remember that much about last time, but this felt more comfortable and flowy, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It doesn't
it
have to be
was.
comedy, it can be us just chatting shit.
Yeah, exactly.
We can just be talking about music or whatever.
Yep, just let it go
Yeah.
wherever it goes, you know?
It's like that whole brainstorming with the pooch, like
Yeah.
getting that on.
That would be incredible.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
That's the money maker.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah, good start though. Heck yeah.
Really good stuff.
Yeah.
Maybe next time it would be good to have headphones on with the thing clicked down.
Yeah.
Headsets.
Yeah.
Good idea.
Would I need to have my computer?
I think you can just connect it to your phone and do the exact same thing.
That is very true. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, people at home, let us know if you think that us recording on our phones in the rain was an okay way to do this. But,
Well, we enjoyed it.
as we say at the end of every podcast, I'm Tony.
I'm Ron.
And I'm John.
Yeah.
And together, we're RonJon
Tony.
Tony.